So we're going to take a look at the solution to the word problem that had Bobby and 3 of her classmates fundraising for their class trip to the local planetarium. We know that on their first weekend of fundraising, they had their bottle drive and they managed to raise 1/2 of the money needed to cover the cost of their expenses. We know that in the next weekend, they had their dog walk and they raised 1/3 of the money needed to cover the cost of their expenses. So we need to find the sum of 1/2 and 1/3, and in order to find that sum, we first need to find the lowest common denominator. So we're going to list the multiples of 2 and 3 to find that lowest common denominator. So we'll list the multiples of 2 first. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going this far and I'll show you why in a minute. 3, 6. So 6 is our lowest common multiple. I'm going to keep going with my multiples of 3 to show you something. 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 is also a common multiple of 2 and 3. It's not, however, our lowest common multiple. If you don't choose your lowest common multiple for your denominator, you're going to have more reducing to do at the end in order to simplify your answer. So 6 is our lowest common denominator. Now it's going to be time to make equivalent fractions. So we have to ask ourselves, 1/2 is equivalent to what fraction with the denominator of 6? 1/3 is equivalent to what fraction with the denominator of 6? 2 times 3 gave us 6. So we multiply the numerator by 3 as well. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 2 gave us 6. So we have to multiply the numerator by 2 as well. 1 times 2 is 2. Now we add the numerators. 3 plus 2 is 5. Please note that we did not have to add the denominators. Our denominator stays the same in our answer. We added the numerators to get 5. Whenever you have your answer, you always have to ask yourself, can I simplify? The greatest common factor of 5 and 6 is 1, so we know that we can't simplify our answer. In this word problem, you were also asked, once you find the sum of your fractions, you will also know what they have remaining to fundraise. If they fundraised 5/6, they would have 1/6 remaining to raise. So if we want to take a look at a visual representation of the sum of 1/2 and 1/3, I have a screenshot here of an interactive provided by Learn Alberta, and we actually have a link to this site under the Explore section of our website. What we have here is we have fraction strips, and the first fraction strip has been divided into halves. So we can see 1/2 and 2 halves make 1 whole. Then we have a denominator of 3, so we have thirds, so 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3 made the 1 whole. They showed the multiples as we did in the previous example when we were just finding the sum of 1/2 and 1/3 symbolically. So we have our multiples of 2, we have our multiples of 3, and we can see that they also found the lowest common denominator to be 6. So based on that, they showed that 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. And you can see lightly shaded underneath that, they showed that 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. They showed that 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. And you can see that lightly shaded underneath that as well. For the sum, they showed the fraction strip below. They have 1/2, which is also equivalent to 3/6, plus 1/3, which is also equivalent to 2/6, made a sum of 5/6. And they showed the equation below here. 1/2 plus 1/3 made 3/6 plus 2/6 to give us a sum of 5/6.